We are now in the graduation season. Millions of students will be graduating from high school and college on all levels. But what exactly is graduation? What does it signify? Is it just a invisible milestone that comes and goes? Or is there something deeper, something personal, something meaningful that we all, not just the graduates, but also families, friends, and others, can learn from it? Please join me as we discuss a transition, yes, a rite of passage, the Kabbalah of Graduating, a rite of passage that takes us from one stage in our life to another, because that's really the essence of what graduation is. It's about the journey of life and how we deal with these transitions, these junctures in time as we move from one stage to the next. Please join me. Hi, this is Simon Jacobson. We'll be speaking about the Kabbalah of Graduating. This program is dedicated by Victoria Vachon in memory of Gloria Lyon, a Holocaust survivor that I met years ago. Her experiences, passion, and resilience changed me, says Victoria. So indeed, very big honor to dedicate the class. And of course, the topic being graduation. So what exactly is graduation? We're now in that season, the graduation season, where millions of students will be graduating, whether it's graduating from elementary school or high school or college, whatever level school people are attending. And it's a word that we throw out there. It's like, okay, graduation. We go through the graduation ceremonies. We're proud of our families, our children, as they move to the next stage in their lives. But the fact is, everything is a lesson in life. And graduation as well has something deeper to teach us. Both the graduates, their families, their friends, and all of us. So let's first look at the graduation concept itself. Literally, the word means is essentially a form of transition, a rite of passage. As we move from one stage, we graduate from one stage in order to move to the next stage in life. Makes total sense. But the fact of the matter, it really helps us understand the concept of journey, the journey of life. The journey of life, we know, is not just one smooth, straight line. It's filled with twists and turns, ups and downs, surprises, curveballs, setbacks. It's a complex journey. And there are stages in life that we go through this rite of passage, whether it's the birth, you can even begin with conception, birth, first tooth, first time a baby begins to crawl, begins to speak, goes to school, goes to summer camp, graduates. So we have many of these junctures in our lives. Some of them are outstanding. Finding your soulmate, getting married, anniversaries, birthdays. I mean, the list goes on. A new job, a new move. So for many of us, I don't know if we take it for granted, but it's just part of life. But the fact is, when you live deliberately and you focus on what you're doing in your life, you live meaningfully, and life is far richer and more fulfilling. And most importantly, it's empowering. It's understanding we're not just traveling on someone else's road. It's our journey. It's your journey. And every step of the way, though you may not control the circumstances, the where, the what, but you control the how, which means how are you going to navigate? So graduation actually is really an opportunity to look at a step a stepping stone in our lives as we move from one stage to another. So, in fact, if you really think of it, it's like really consists of 3 steps. One is where you're coming from, what you're graduating from, the graduation itself, and then where you're going to. So it's a 3-step process, a past, a present, and a future. The mystics, the Kabbalah of Graduating, teach us that every real journey of growth is not one where you just repeat patterns and you go in circles, or even if you move forward, but it's in a very incremental way. But the true growth is going to consist of being in one state, then going into some form of void or vacuum, if you wish, in order to give birth to the next stage. So graduation actually is not just, okay, I was here, now I'm moving here. No, you were here and now you're moving to another stage in your life. You've learned things. You have new experiences. All that should now catapult you and propel you to a completely new place in your life. Because if you're just continuing and just on another level of what you were doing, it's not fully taking advantage. You want to say what I've learned has now taught me to go to the next stage, and now quantitatively and qualitatively, I'm in a completely new place. So the way the Kabbalists put it, they say yesh, ayin, yesh. It's 3 Hebrew words. Yesh means a state of being, leading to another state of being, another yesh. And in between is an ayin. The ayin is the void, the vacuum. To just use a few examples. Every seed planted in the ground needs to rot, deteriorate, decompose as it blossoms into a flower, into a bush, into a tree, into anything that will grow into. Talk about education. Creativity is a child of frustration. The greater the creativity, the greater the frustration that precedes it. You need to shed one layer of skin to assume a new layer. So graduation really means you're graduating from one stage to become a greater person. It's a metamorphosis in the fullest sense of the word. Think of the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis, from the cocoon, and originating as a caterpillar. A caterpillar crawls on the ground. A butterfly soars, flaps its wings. So in life we will have these type of transitions, and how we manage them and how we navigate them can tell you much about what will happen with your life. We're not talking about a crystal ball predictions, but we're talking about you taking control. So graduation is actually a period of introspection, of assessment, honest appraisal, and auditing and accountability. What has happened? For good or for bad, the things you've learned, mistakes we've made, and what will happen. And there will always be that somewhat awkwardness, if you wish, or discomfort, because you're going out of the comfort zone of a previous state to get into a new state. So precisely getting out of a comfort zone is exactly what you want. That's why it's not comfortable. Because the coordinates are not that known to you. You were comfortable with something. You moved to a new school. You moved to a new class. You moved to a new stage after graduation. So it's new. And some things may seem uncertain, not as comfortable as you were. But that's precisely why it helps you grow to the great new places. The secret to life is graduation, is graduating. But not premature graduation. When the seed doesn't just deteriorate in a second, it takes time. It has to move in a process. Because we're not overwhelming. It's not about a shock treatment, it's about a process, a gradual movement. How gradual? Depending on the person, depending on the situation. But it's like moving from one rung to the next. And it's actually critical because you want to be able to grow. You want to be able to say, I am not the same person I was last year or my last stage. You don't want to succumb to what the cynics say, the more things change, the more they stay the same. A generation comes, a generation goes, and there's nothing new under the sun. There is much new over the sun, and you want to feel that you can access that. So it also deals with the dynamics of invigoration, of renewal. That's what it is. A metamorphosis is a renewal. Imagine in life if you're constantly able to experience this renewal. When I say constant, daily, weekly, monthly, annually, or every several years, but the point is that you constantly feel that renewal. How many people complain about the monotone, the monotony of life, the boring routines, getting trapped in a rut, the merry-go-round, where things keep on just repeating themselves. And we manage, we survive. So this also allows us to understand that life is not just movement, but growth. And that's a very powerful concept. So all this lies the deeper messages of graduation. But let's go even further into this. In the healing world of recovery, there's a statement, if nothing changes, nothing changes. The way I like to put it is, if you think what you thought, and you say what you said, and you do what you did, what will you have? What you had. It's a mathematical certainty. Cause and effect, action, reaction. You do the same thing, of course you get different results. What is insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting different results. Another important statement, I believe attributed to Einstein, you cannot solve a problem from the system where the problem was created. In the Talmudic language, it means a person, a captive, cannot free themselves. Person in captivity. You can't untie yourself. You're in a pit. You need someone to support, to help you. Why is this so relevant? Because I think it's the French that say that the enemy of good is not bad. It's perfect. It's understanding that even, we're not just talking about in captivity that you're in trouble or in a dark place. So then many people know they have to move. This is, even when you're doing something good, you have to always move forward. First, and not just expect you're going to reach perfection in a second. So it's a constant movement from good to better and better. Meaning that wherever you are, that's what you want to achieve. You want to bring new energy into it. And that new energy, as I said, is doing something different, thinking differently, speaking differently. So a true graduate, and I'll say this as a message to the graduates, a true graduate, you're not just graduating from your class, from your high school, from your elementary school, from college, whether it's a bachelor's degree or master's or a doctorate. You're actually now are a newer person. What you've learned on all levels, and what you haven't learned, and the mistakes you've made, all of them add up to a person who has accumulated and grown, then now you can take on new challenges. You have new insights, a new sensitivity. That's the ultimate litmus test of real graduation. You haven't just graduated, but you graduated in the full sense of the word, where you're using what you learned. You're using your past few years of experience and past few years of education as a springboard to take you to a completely new level. That's how you have to think, which really also is a vote of confidence in your potential. You have not reached your potential. No one ever reaches their total potential. But it's critical to know that as you climb the mountain, you see broader horizons. It should motivate you to conquer new horizons, the understanding of possibilities. Now, I understand for many, I remember when I graduated, there was also an element of relief. School is over. Especially if that's the final graduation. But you have to look at it not that way. Life is not over. The actual physical school may be over. Even schooling and education is not over. Education is a lifelong journey. It's not just sitting in a classroom with a textbook and a teacher and homework or exams or reports, papers that you have to deliver, tests. It's about becoming a person who's constantly learning and constantly growing. Isn't that something that each of us wants? And graduation is marking the milestone when you move from one stage to another. So when you think of it that way, it's really a lesson in life in every possible way. It's a lesson that teaches us what a journey is about, what growth is about. We live in a world, I don't want to call it a cynical world, but it's a jaded world, where very often the message we receive is conform, fit in. Marketers are trying to manipulate us to purchase their product or service. So we become a commodity, we become a statistic, we become I don't call it a victim, or a target. Graduation is also an opportunity to recognize and establish that you're not someone else's accessory, someone else's product. You are an individual that's unique to you. One of the fascinating things when you study children, you look at children, and I don't even mean a scientific study, just look at them. There's a certain free abandon. It's so refreshing. Yes, children want approval of the adults around them, their parents, their families, but leave them be and give them the confidence. They will explore with total self-confidence, without inhibitions, without any self-consciousness. It's amazing to see. What happens when parents or the adults around them begin to criticize or even smirk and give them messages not validating, not encouraging that movement? Children begin to shrink. They begin to retreat. They begin to second-guess themselves. So a child is essentially, talk about metamorphosis, is a metamorphosis in the making. Constant exploration, constant adventure, wanting to spread its wings. Unfortunately, society, with good intentions maybe, but many times it's not even good intentions. It could be ignorance or just plain neglect, not thinking about it, not being deliberate, as I mentioned, will in some way suffocate, in some way crush, and limit and constrain that free movement. Graduation is a time to think about that. That what you're learning is not meant to limit you. It's meant to expand your perspective, expand your vision, help you spread your wings. Yes, what we learn helps channel it. Education, obviously, is knowledge. A good, healthy education is informing, structuring, defining, helping crystallize, helping make distinctions, and helping make proper judgment calls, evaluating from right and wrong, finding clarity. But the spirit of the person cannot ever be sacrificed as a result. Unfortunately, some education limits the spirit because education becomes an end in itself. You're studying mathematics, you're studying STEM, what do they call it? Science, technology, engineering, mechanics, mathematics. At a time they added the A to make it STEAM, which was the arts. So yes, these are important skills, but they're at the end of the day a tool chest. And the word S, not for science, but for soul, for spirit, is missing. Remember that everything you learn is there to feed your spirit, to feed your soul, to feed your confidence, to express your soul in this world. Your uniqueness, your unique song, to sing your song. And that brings me to the next point in what graduation is. It's also a way of assessing, okay, what I've learned. I know what I've learned. But what has it taught me about myself? Some teachers, master teachers, are really good at doing that. But there are many years you can be studying and no one ever even asks not what's in it for you, but what has it done for you? What is it helping you do? I remember when I took geometry in, 10th grade, Mr. Sher, he was our mathematics teacher. And I gravitated, I love mathematics. So after algebra, geometry, then trigonometry, calculus. So I remember geometry, so at the end of this semester, Mr. Shear said to us, he said, and now my students, boys, I want you to know this. Everything we learned this year doesn't have any practical application because it's two-dimensional geometry. And everything in this world is three-dimensional. Cubic geometry. So I remember I asked him, so why do we learn this? He said, you learn organized thinking. Organized thinking. A structure. A before B, B before C. You have to make a proof. You have to prove a theorem or prove a theory. You need to really organize it. You can't miss one point. And it's indeed true. It's exactly correct. Till this day, what I've learned in geometry still helps me in writing, in communicating, in teaching. It's structure. It's organizing things. But remember, that is not an end in itself. What are you organizing? So fine, you're an organized person. You're able to present something in a lucid, logical way, rational way. Others can understand it well because you don't put B before A. Sometimes you hear someone teaching or speaking or writing. Everything is right, but it's jumbled up. Like chapter 2 should have been chapter 1. So it's a tool, an excellent tool. So the biggest question is, what is your mission in life? Why are you here? What is your soul's purpose? And unfortunately, this is not taught to us in school. And that you never graduate from, because that is your core mission. So graduation is also a time of that type of soul-searching, introspection. What do I stand for? And what I've learned, it's a tool for what? For achieving what? So for many of us, the answer will be the career we're pursuing. Medicine, law, accounting, computer, finance. I mean, the list goes on. But you need something more than just a career to make money. Even if you love what you do, even if it's something that really you're passionate about. It's also the transcendent mission. How in some way you're going to change the world. How in some way you're going to make your mark. How in some way you're going to make your unique contribution. It doesn't have to be dramatic with fireworks, but it has to be something that allows you to express yourself in your unique way. So the Kabbalah of Graduating also includes the soul of graduating, meaning the soul's growth and what stage you're at now. They're the years when we are absorbing and we're learning. We're learning from the masters, from the best. And there's a stage where you have to now begin to go out there and now you need to deliver. We're always learning. But now begins a stage where you begin to have to give, not just receive. See, even while we're learning, but a big part of it has to now be what you've learned, you're sharing with others. You've become a flame that rises on its own. It's an expression from the Medrash, talking about how to light a flame, how to ignite a candle. Not just light it, don't just ignite it. Make it rise on its own. Ultimate graduation. That you stand on your own feet. You've been taught, hopefully, not just what to think, but how to think. Not just facts, but methodology. Not just knowledge, but tools. Not just answers to questions, but how to answer questions. This all goes into that qualitative paradigm shift that a graduation is meant to lead you to. So yes, so we always remain the student. We always remain an absorber, always learning new things, but now also exuding as a responsibility and as a gift of sharing with others what we've learned, but also with our unique touch, with your unique flavor, with your unique song. So it really puts into context when you think about it, school and general education and graduation as well, into a meaningful context, into a productive one, a larger picture, much bigger than what it usually becomes, a graduation party, graduation ceremony. No, it's about celebrating life itself and your mission in life, and a stage that you've reached that you're ready now to take on the next stage, next level of growth. And indeed, that's exactly what it is. The Baal Shem Tov says that for every question, there's an answer. For every answer, there's another question. Not in circles, in a higher level. It's a constant process of movement. And it's beautiful when you think of it that way. Because even as you feel, I've achieved a certain accomplishment, I've reached a certain destination, okay, enjoy it, integrate it. Now comes the step to move forward, to take it to the next level. And that's the nature of a human being. We are restless spirits in a good way, not too restless as in anxiety, but restless enough to not just be satisfied with animal bliss, but a graduation is a propeller, to propel us, springboard, to new and greater possibilities, to new and greater horizons. So, I say this to every graduate, to every family member, friend, and to all of us. We're all in the process of traveling. We're all in the process of graduating. May you be blessed with the courage, with the strength, with the fortitude, with the confidence in yourself, knowing that you have the support of those around you, to selflessly serve with your unique skills, to take what you've learned, to take what you've experienced, and in some way bring light and warmth to those around you. That wherever you go, wherever you travel, whomever you encounter, and every interaction with things or with people should be one that becomes improved after you made contact. In other words, not to leave things the way they are, but something is better after you have been there. I'll conclude with a beautiful story that I often share, which is so powerful, so inspiring. It's a story with the Baal Shem Tov, the great mystic, the great founder of the Hasidic movement. He lived in the 18th century, into the 17th, 18th century. He had a student, a disciple, whose name was Rab Chaim Rappaport. And he once sent him on a mission, as he would often do. I don't even know if we know what the mission was, to go to a certain town, to accomplish something, maybe do a favor for someone or help somebody. After he returned, the Baal Shem Tov asked him, so how did you travel? How did you get there? Seems like a superfluous technical thing, who really cares? But the Baal Shem Tov asked. So Rab Chaim answered. He said, well, first night I stayed in an inn. The next night there was no inn, so I camped out at the side of the road. I mean, he described where he traveled and how he traveled. And in the morning, when I woke up, washed my hands, said my prayers, and then sat down to have something to eat. There was a little brook of water there. So I went and took some water and made a blessing on it and drank it. The Baal Shem Tov suddenly jumped up with excitement. And he said, that brook of water was waiting from the beginning of time for you to come and make a blessing there. So yes, the mission that he had to accomplish was important, and it was accomplished. But every step of the way, the journey is also part of the mission. And even a small thing that seems so trivial, take a cup of water. The water was waiting for you to come and make a blessing on it. Elevate it. Draw down energy in it. Use the energy from that water to do good things and kindness. Dear graduate, this is you. Your journey continues, new stage. But remember every step of the way, and especially during those junctures, those rites of passage, are opportunities. And even if it's a challenge, turn challenges into opportunities. An opportunity to improve that interaction, that space, that time that you're in. And that has been waiting for you, for no one else but you, to come there and do something to perfect it, to improve it, to correct it, to illuminate it, to warm it, to inspire it, to change it. So affect change, create change, carpe diem, seize the day. Be that proactive initiator, not the observer that's watching. There are people, they say, 3 types of people: people who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and people who ask, what happened? Make things happen. God bless you. Success. We need you. You need us. We all need each other. May you be blessed to truly be a leader of the future based on everything you've learned, and take it to another level until we bring, in the words of Maimonides, that one good deed and one good word and one good thought tips the scales and brings personal and global redemption. Thank you. This has been Simon Jacobson, Meaningful Life Center, meaningfullife.com. Please check out our website, check out our calendar, a wide array and a full services to address every possible topic. Text, video, audio, short, long, different audiences. Check it out. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, our growing YouTube channel, I should say. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, your feedbacks, your comments. And please share this. Share this, especially with anyone that's graduating or their family, friends, and anyone that you see fit. Please stay in touch and be blessed. Thank you.
This program is brought to you by the Meaningful Life Center. Please help us continue our programs. Make even a small contribution at meaningfullife.com/donate.